broadcasters. Welcome to episode 243 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Geige. I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
Always doing good. How you doing?
Doing well. It's been a good week. Really excited to be here with all of you tonight and answer your questions. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard, and we do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with all of you, go through the same flow that you all do with your own shows and productions. Two is to answer any of your questions. That's why we're calling it Ask StreamYard. So if there's anything you'd like us to touch on tonight, feel free to leave it in the chat. We'll do our best to get to as many as we possibly can. And then I always mention the three pillars of StreamYard, which are ease of use, stability, and professional streams. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. I see people hanging out from all over the world tonight. I think I saw Nigeria, very cool to see. We have Darren in British Columbia, folks from I think we have someone from Brazil, very cool to see. Before I forget, we have lots of awesome shows on StreamYard. We have YouTube channel reviews with Dee and Daniel the second Saturday of every month. Really great show if you're looking to grow on YouTube or start a channel. They give specific actionable feedback on individual channels and ideas on how to think about things like your niche, how to think about your banner, your thumbnails for your videos, everything you need to know about YouTube. They'll cover in that show. It's a really great show. And then we have Enhance Your Live Streams the last Tuesday of the month with Nick Nimmin, who again is a pro when it comes to all things video, but check that one out for your live streaming questions. And then one thing we've been doing at the start of these so that we get to know a little bit more about you and you get to know a little bit more about us is a fun fact. And the fun fact we had for tonight was when it comes to like if there's a movie that comes out, are you the type of person that will go to the movie theater and see it on like the release night, or would you rather wait until it's like, used to be like wait until DVD, but I guess now it's like wait until it's like on Netflix or Hulu or whatever. What about you, Dan?
I've definitely never been a release night kind of guy, but I do like going to the theaters once in a while. How about you?
Yeah, my answer is boringly probably almost exactly the same. I'd say there's occasionally, especially when I was younger. I think believe it or not, I think the first movie I ever like actually like opening night waited in a huge line to see was Spider-Man 3. So that was a long time ago. It was really good. Spider-Man 3 from like
yeah, I don't think I've ever done
that. But for the most part, I think I usually just wait.
Yeah, same.
All right, I see lots of questions here. Let's get started with some of these. We have one from Farmer Brad says, I wish my StreamYard live streams would automatically set monetization on YouTube. Yeah, definitely understand this one, Farmer Brad. It's something we'd absolutely like to improve, and it's feedback that we've given to the YouTube team, and it's something that they are actually working on making easier. Doug actually mentioned it. So like Doug said, it is something YouTube's working on, is making it where that your preset defaults will be respected. So if you have it set that by default you want your live streams to be monetized, that it should be set like that in the future, but it might not be on for you yet. I believe that's something that's being worked on, right, Dan?
Yeah, I don't know what the status is. I just know that that's something they want to address. And yeah, hopefully soon.
Awesome. Okay, we have another one here from Cody, who says, is there a place where we can see the dimensions for overlays and whatnot? So we do have if you go to the Facebook group, Cody, so if you go to Facebook and just type in StreamYard community, it should be the first one that pops up. It's like the official StreamYard community. There are some assets in there when it comes to, like, we have a spreadsheet that lets you know all of the overlays, along with some files for like Figma and stuff that make it easier. We do want to make it even easier beyond that, beyond just like having some files. So hopefully in the future there's some stuff we can do directly within StreamYard, but for now that's probably the best place to go.
Yep. And that's specifically, I assume that's what you're asking just based on the way you phrased the question, but it's specifically if you want to know, like, hey, when there's two people on screen, where exactly are they going to appear, so that you can build a custom overlay so that you have a name tag appearing right on top of the person wherever you want it to be. I assume that's what you're asking, but just to clarify.
All right. Petty Talks TV says, question, can you make guests see each other on the backstage just the way the host sees them, even if they're not in the stream yet, so they're seen by other guests? Yeah, it's a good question, Petty Talks TV. The main reason, there's a few reasons why it works the way it does now. Like part of it was around like we wanted the guests to just be focused on the show that was coming up and not necessarily distracted or maybe even confused in terms of like, am I on screen yet? Am I already able to? Because like for example, if they joined and they could talk with other guests backstage, it might not be clear if they were actually in the show yet. But it is something that we're thinking about and would like to continue to improve. Our first sort of step towards that was sort of the green room functionality. That is on some of our higher tier plans that basically is a separate, it doesn't have the ability to communicate between guests, but in the future we'd like to add that. But it does have more of that type of functionality than in the traditional StreamYard studio. So hopefully we can continue to do more there to address that with the green room. Any other thoughts on that one, Dan?
No, we have heard it before, so I appreciate the feedback. Yeah, it's not something we're planning to change soon, but I do get the need for it, and it's possible we might be able to find some kind of sort of interesting compromise where it sort of solves all the problems. We're always trying to find stuff like that.
All right. Happy Valley Hobby says, how close are you getting to making it easier to change cameras? So if you, maybe you've asked in the past, Happy Valley, and we talked about it, but if you could remind me like what type of functionality you're looking for when it comes to changing cameras, because we do have a few features like we did recently add the ability to have multiple USB cameras, and then you can always change the camera in the settings. But is it the type of thing where it's like you're looking for a hotkey, or if you could give me some more info in terms of like what you'd like to see when it comes to changing cameras? Unless Dan, you remember a previous conversation around it.
Not necessarily, but I would be curious if you're referring to mobile or desktop, because I know some people have asked for that on mobile specifically, just like a quick button where they can switch between front and back camera on their phone. Is that what you're referring to, or is this something on desktop? If you can let us know.
The movie versus waiting for release is pretty split. It looks like there's excited folks on both ends.
Cool.
All right. Mikey says, does the YouTube API expose live reactions? I'd love to be able to turn it off without going to the live control room. Do you happen to know? You want to take that one, Dan?
I just like the way you phrased the question. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not actually sure. I assume this is something where you're having to go to, basically the way you describe it is you're having to actually go to YouTube and change your settings manually. Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm not sure. I don't think so, but I don't know.
So we'll look into it, Mikey. It might also be connected to the sort of first question that came up too, in terms of YouTube sort of starting to respect defaults in the future. Hopefully, it's part of that, but it's also something we'll look into.
Yeah, my hope is that either YouTube can expose more stuff through their API or respect more defaults. And it sounds like, I mean, they're kind of doing a bit of both. So hopefully anything that isn't exposed or respecting the defaults will start to do that.
Cool. We have a question here from Home Rapid Repair. We want to sign up for StreamYard and start experimenting before going live. What's the best way to do that in unlisted stream on YouTube? Yeah, that's a great question, Home Rapid Repair. Unlisted stream on YouTube is definitely a great way to do it. That's probably the number one way I would recommend it, because it'll give you the full sort of experience in terms of understanding how comments work, because you can just go to YouTube and try testing the comment. You could try sharing the link with a friend that you trust to make sure everything's working how you'd expect. So probably that's the best way to do it. Other popular ways, sometimes people will just go into a Facebook group that's private to test it that way, or maybe just do a record-only stream. But if you do plan on streaming to a platform, it is probably better to just do an unlisted one so you can see that everything works versus just a recording, which isn't going to have the comments and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah, same issue if you do an actual private stream, it won't have comments, but yeah, unlisted is a good way to go.
All right. Lots of great questions tonight. Charlie, I see your question about being suspended on YouTube. Unfortunately, StreamYard, we don't really get much information on YouTube when it comes, like if you get suspended, because it's basically a YouTube decision. So we are able to tell that we can or cannot stream to YouTube. So additional information for that, I would try to reach out to YouTube. CC Coder says, does StreamYard record locally to my C drive with the live chat included? Can you show on screen how it's done? So C Coder, I assume you're talking about our local recording functionality, but if not, definitely let us know. But No. So the way that StreamYard local recording works is it basically records on a special area of your browser almost. It's sort of part of the browser itself. Like it's technically on your computer, but it's not going to be something that's super easy for you to find. Because the idea is we want to make it easy for you, and it's being uploaded in the background as it's being recorded. So it gets the high quality because it is going directly to your computer, but in the background, it's sending those high quality pieces to StreamYard while the recording is going on. So when it's over, you're able to download those high quality versions directly from StreamYard, or even edit them directly on StreamYard. Right now, the live chat is not included unless you're using On Air. With On Air, you are able to download the chat afterwards. In terms of how local recordings work and how all of it works, I would check out our tutorial video. If you just go to StreamYard.com/contact in the chat there and type in local recording, the article with the video should pop up. And there's a great tutorial walking through exactly how it works. But it's just one option. You also don't have to record locally. Like there's an option to just record basically the cloud version on StreamYard. So either one of those might make sense depending on what you're doing.
Cool.
Ivan says, question, do I need to show clips in my future streams? How do I upload them? So when it comes to clips, Ivan, I mean, it's totally up to you. You don't have to show clips, but you absolutely can. The video clips functionality of StreamYard is definitely a really popular feature. And to upload them, all you do is go to brand and find the video clips section, and you'll be able to upload them directly there. And they're pretty easy to use. You just click to play them. That's how we do the intro for these streams. I basically start with an on-screen overlay and then play the video to sort of create the intro effect. But I would just test it out in a test studio and see if it's something you want to use.
Yep. Yeah, and that's on all plans as well. Video clips is on free plan and on the paid plan.
Hey, Andy, great to see you here. Hope you're doing well. Cheryl, your question about how much internet you need to stream. You definitely don't need that much. So if you mentioned you have 10 gigabytes per second, that should be plenty. So if you're having any sort of lagging issues with 10 gigabits per second, it's not likely the speed of your internet. It's likely the quality of your connection. So if you're on Wi-Fi, I would try potentially getting closer to the router, or even better, try plugging directly in to the router. That's probably the first place I'd start. But you're definitely not limited by speed if that's your speed. Usually, you only need a few megs up and down on StreamYard to have a good experience. Bourbon Note Ben says, any plans to allow desktop audio as a second source of audio so I can use a soundboard like a Stream Deck without having to use a program like OBS or Voice Meter? Do you want to take that one, Dan?
Yeah, that's a good question. Potentially. So there is certain things that are tricky to do in the browser, I would say, but it's not impossible to do in the browser. So it's possible. I would be curious what type of sounds you want to play. Like when you say soundboard, are you just talking like sound effects that you want to play? Because it's possible we could do something without needing to have like a desktop audio source there. But if you can maybe let us know why you exactly want a desktop audio source, that would be helpful. Like, is there a reason you couldn't just have a bunch of sounds in StreamYard itself if that was a feature? Would that work for you? Or does it have to be a desktop source?
Cool. Yeah, if you could let us know, Bourbon Ben. David says, at what point are you guys going to stop adding features to make sure things don't become too complicated? Simplicity has always seemed important to StreamYard. Yeah, that's a great question, David. Ease of use is the number one, or one of the three main pillars, obviously, right? So I would be curious, David, from your perspective, if you feel like the product has gotten more complicated or difficult to use. We do try to frequently test, like we're always testing with new batches of users and getting feedback from new users, and everything we've seen so far is that we actually have been able to make it easier over time while adding more features. But if that's not your experience, I would love to hear about it. But the whole idea and our whole philosophy of adding features is we'd like to continue to make it StreamYard more and more powerful and address folks' needs, but make sure that we add them in such a way that if you don't really want to access that feature, or you're someone who isn't going to use that feature, that you might not even run into it or even discover it, right? Like we want to sort of tuck power in behind the scenes, but for folks that do want to go deep and do really want to understand everything that StreamYard can do have it available, but make sure that for someone who's brand new, that they're able to get up and set up a show and go live really quick. But we're trying to make sure that we respect those pillars as we add that functionality. So would love to hear if you disagree or if you do find certain things to be complicated.
Yeah, we are very careful. Like your question hits to the heart of how we think about everything. Just making sure we stay super simple.
Musardi says, in recording controls, can you guys make it so we can rewind for reviewing the recording and then keep the recording afterwards? Thanks. Do you want to take that one, Dan?
Cool. So just to make sure I understand, are you basically saying that you want to be able to record a segment, let's say a 1 minute chunk, and then rewind, in other words, watch it back to make sure it's good, and then do another chunk, like record another segment right after that? Basically, like what we have with pausing, but where you can actually watch what you just created. If that's what you're asking for, let me know. That is something we would like to explore. But if I'm totally off, also let me know.
Cool. Yeah, let us know. Musardi. Chris from Budgeting Just Because says, can we send you guys fun fact questions to answer? Yeah, that's a cool suggestion, Chris, by all means. We were going to experiment with like a form to submit questions beforehand. So maybe at the end of this, we can try sharing that again. If you're keen to submit some, we'd love to see them.
And feel free to just drop them in the chat as well if you have some fun ones.
Yeah, we always look at the whole chat after the show's over. So if you, by all means, just drop it in the chat, and we'll definitely read it after the show's over.
Yep.
Elizabeth says, can we get two screen shares? I would like to do my own, and also when a viewer shares a relevant photo in our Facebook group, it would be ideal to have both of them up. Yeah, so basically the ability to put two screen shares on at once. Yeah, that totally makes sense, Elizabeth. And yeah, hopefully it's something we can support in the future. We'll explore it and look into it.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to it. It kind of comes back to that earlier question about keeping things really simple. This is the type of stuff where we're always trying to make trade-offs between making it ridiculously easy versus giving people all the possible functionality in the world, which also makes it more complex. So this is one of those things where like, we may have that, we might not. Hard to say. It really depends how many people need it. But I definitely get the need.
Beauty Bubble says, what are the chances of having a question acquisition system that uses a QR code and integrates with either StreamYard or StreamYard On Air? So for StreamYard On Air, Q&A is definitely a big request in general and something that we're working on. Whether or not it's going to support QR code functionality, I'm not 100% sure yet, but we're absolutely going to support Q&A. So I'd say there's definitely a chance. I'd be curious to learn more about like what exactly you'd like to see with it. I assume it's the type of thing where you just share a QR code, and if someone scans the QR code, they're able to just like submit a question that way. But if that's different from how you're envisioning it, let us know. Let's see here. Delusionals Arcade says, any plans to be able to play a playlist for background music during a stream? Maybe have it cycle through each uploaded music in order, or a random play button. Do you want to take that one, Dan?
Yeah, we have had this come up a bit before. I don't think we've ever had a random play button come up with a suggestion. I think that's pretty interesting. But yeah, playlists have come up before where basically, hey, I want to queue up 5 songs in a row and have it go through these in order. I could see that being something we would add. It's not on our list of things to add right now, but it has come up and I do get the need. So as long as we can do it in a way that's kind of really simple and out of the way for people that don't need it, I'm definitely open to it.
All right, let's see what else we had for tonight. Appreciate the follow-up there, David. Glad that you don't feel it's difficult, but I would still be curious if you do think there's been a change. Would love to know. Awesome, Erica. Glad you're loving the new additions. I guess on that note, there were a couple topics I wanted to touch on tonight. One was if there is any feedback on the recent updates. If you missed the last couple town halls, some of the more recent changes. One was one of the bigger ones was the recording controls. So now when you're doing a recording on StreamYard, you can actually pause it and restart right within the studio. It was sometimes kind of cumbersome before, where if you wanted to completely start over, you'd have to sort of end and create a new one. So hopefully that's been helpful. And the other one is the ability to post videos to Facebook within the StreamYard editor. So you can trim videos up to 20 minutes and then post them directly to Facebook as a video. So if there's any feedback on those or additional things you'd like to see with those, definitely let us know.
Cool.
Tons of questions here. Fans of Green Bay Packers says, is there a better way to upload a video into StreamYard? I'd be curious what way you're using now, Green Bay Packers. So, like right now, I mean, depending on the way you want to share a video, like if it's a video clip, all you do is go into the brand section and just hit upload and upload it directly from your computer. I don't know if there's too many other interesting, maybe I'm just not being creative enough. I mean, I guess maybe we could have an integration with Google Drive or something like that, but I'd be curious like what you'd like to see when it comes to uploading. But yeah, maybe I'm also misunderstanding the question. If you could let me know. But yeah, if you're sharing a video using the present option, that actually doesn't even involve like a traditional uploading. It's just streaming directly from your system. So it kind of just depends how you're sharing it.
Yeah, the brand tab is great if you have, for example, an intro video like the one that we play at the start or the video at the end, the outro. You want to play every single show, you just upload it in the brand section, you click it, it plays the whole thing. Whereas with the video sharing one at the bottom is much better if you want to share, a half-hour video and maybe scrub through it and jump to different parts to show, like in your case, maybe highlights of a game or something. Much better for that. And like Kate said, it doesn't have to be uploaded, so you can just stream it real time. Even if it's 10 hours long, you can still play it. There's not really a limit to the file size or anything like that.
Cool. Dice Grinder says ability to move banners to different positions on the screen. I think I also saw a comment earlier asking around changing sort of the size of comments. So yeah, the only way to sort of customize those things now is with the sort of default themes. But one thing that we are working on that I've sort of alluded to in the past is sort of the next extension of what we did with custom layouts is going even deeper beyond that and allowing sort of that next level of customization. Again, tucked away where if you don't want to access that stuff, it's not going to be very visible. And again, I can't promise that it will allow you to move banners, but we do want to make it where for folks that do really want to customize every aspect of the stream, that functionality will allow them to do that. Let's see what else we had here. Awesome, Beauty Bubble. Thanks for the clarification. Wilfred says, when will you have a live background while streaming? Do you want to take that one, Dan?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I'd be curious to get your thoughts, Gage, because I saw that question. What the live background refers to. If that was like a video background, like a moving background, or if you meant something else. Do you have a sense?
I assumed it meant like a video, like the background we have now with like the purple and blue, like an animated one. If that's not what you meant, Wilfred, let us know. I don't have an exact date for you, but it is something that we're exploring if that's what you meant. But if not, let us know.
When I first saw it, I was thinking, is he referring to like a studio audience? Like, we say something funny and yeah, if it's video backgrounds, that is something we're looking into right now.
Eduardo says, is it possible to share PDF files on stream and control zoom in and zoom out? So you can actually do a lot with just the screen sharing functionality, Eduardo. So if all you do is you can open a PDF with Chrome. So if you open the PDF with Chrome, it'll open up in a Chrome tab. And then if you screen share that Chrome tab, you can scroll through that PDF and zoom in into the PDF and zoom out, and that will show up within the stream. When it comes to, I guess that's sort of the only way we would allow it now, right, Dan?
Yeah, we do have PDF sharing, as I imagine you're aware, Eduardo. But yeah, it doesn't allow zoom in and zoom out right now.
Right, not at this time.
I would like to expand the functionality that we have with that, especially supporting GIFs and things like that, but it is a little tricky. Also, just to follow up, because I remember we'd asked Happy Valley a follow-up question. This is for switching cameras. So this is where I was asking, is it mobile or desktop? Sounds like a desktop with 3 cameras. And I'd be curious, would you want to bind like a specific hotkey to each camera, or maybe just have one that cycles between them and you preference there? And same question for anyone else that wants hotkeys for switching cameras.
Cool. But yeah, we definitely want to add hotkey support for as much functionality as we can.
Yep.
All right. Want to go ahead and start queuing up the giveaway, Dan, while I answer a couple more here?
Yes.
We have a question from Tyshawn. Says, can we record podcasts on StreamYard? Absolutely, Tyshawn. That's a big reason why we've been adding all of the new recording functionality. So one of the biggest additions we made for that is the local recording option. So if you are doing it also works for live streams, but if you are doing just a podcast or record-only stream on StreamYard, you can now opt to use the local recording option, which actually records a very high-quality version of each person's audio and video directly from their device in separate tracks. And the reason it is high quality is because it is coming directly from, first it goes directly to their computer and then gets uploaded in the background. So yes, absolutely, you can record podcasts on StreamYard.
Cool.
All right, I think many of you are already familiar with the giveaway, but to be eligible, all you have to do is type in hashtag the yard. We'll give you maybe 10 seconds or so to get in your hashtag the yards. And tonight we'll give away a StreamYard sweater and a StreamYard pillow.
Cool. Let me hide this banner too.
Sebastian says, can we please get a sort by broadcast date in the upcoming streams list? It will help those a lot who schedule several weeks, months in advance. Yeah, absolutely, Sebastian. I know it's been a request for a long time. It is something that we absolutely do want to add.
Yep.
Okay, good to know, Eduardo. Yeah, we, like Dan said, hopefully we can extend and continue to improve the sort of integrated PDF functionality we have to have more options like that.
Yep.
Should I do one more, Dan, or is the number stabilized?
I'll
do one last one. The Educated Natural says, any plans to add a 9:16 ratio? Yes, absolutely, Educated Natural. It is something we want to add and support, especially it's to a very small group of people. But as we anticipate and as we hope that folks like Instagram open up streaming to more people, it's something that we absolutely want to support. And you can, like, say if you are streaming somewhere like Instagram that is 9:16, one cool sort of side effect with custom layouts is you can actually create a custom layout where and get the 9:16 section looking exactly how you want it to look. And most platforms will simply crop the edges.
We did change that recently though.
Oh, okay.
Where we've slowly rolled it out. Where I don't know, like the Educated Natural, I don't know if you've streamed to Instagram or something like that recently, but yeah, if you are streaming, it's specifically for Instagram and TikTok only. So if you're streaming 9:16 to YouTube or something, you won't notice it. But for Instagram and TikTok, we will actually basically add this blur effect. It used to crop the middle, but then it kind of ended up cutting out the middle of the stream. And for people that were actively had custom layouts and were doing stuff like that, we kept the behavior, but for everybody else, there's a blur effect. So it doesn't just crop the middle. If you do want to have the behavior Geige is talking about though, you message us, we can basically turn that on for you so you can have a custom layout where it is kind of 9:16. We will at least have a nice blur effect. And actually one follow-up question for you. I'd be curious where you're streaming to, where you want 9:16, if that's Instagram, TikTok, or if that's something else.
Yes, that'd be great. Great to know. All right, Dan, should we go ahead and run the giveaway?
Yep. And sorry, what are we giving away?
A StreamYard pillow and a StreamYard sweater.
Cool. Good luck, everyone.
Tim Tiller, congrats. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. If you could send an email to contact@streamyard.com, the team can work with you on getting the size for your sweater and your address to send you the sweater and the pillow. Congrats again.
Cool. Congrats.
All right. And with that, this was episode 243 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. There's so many great questions tonight. I apologize if we missed any of them. We're going to go through all of them afterwards and read through them. It's always a great time hanging out with all of you and getting the chance to answer your questions. We'll see you next week at the same time, Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific.
Perfect. See you next week, everyone.